There's been plenty of calls for taxis for Adam Idah, but not quite like this. Welcome back to Fog Football. Woo! And Brendan Rodgers has come out and defended Adam Idah after Night Out video. Now you're probably wondering, Night Out video, black taxis, what is going on here, my friends? Well, this is essentially what's happened. So Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers has defended Adam Idah and hit out at people trying to expose footballers after a video of the striker appearing to throw up in a taxi circulated on social media. Now, I've seen the video. It's simply just Adam Idah throwing up my taxi, right? There really ain't a big deal to it. You know what I mean? There ain't, and we'll get into Rodgers' quotes and comments, but, you do see this, like footballers are in the spotlight. It doesn't really matter what they do. They're always going to be in the spotlight. And, how many people watching this video or seeing this bit of news or whatever, we've all drunk too much and thrown up, right? Now, maybe some of us have never thrown up my taxi, right? I've never thrown up my taxi, but the fact of the matter is this, we've all thrown up and we've all been sick due to drinking, right? They're trying to paint Adam Idah not as a bad human being. Maybe that's a step too far, but it's like a pile-on effect here. Now, obviously, Fog Football, we've piled on Adam Idah this season because he's been shite on the pitch. But in terms of him drinking, he can do that. Now, he did do it. Apparently, the incident went down on Wednesday night. Of course, Celtic not in Europe, so Adam Idah was free to have a wee swally. So that's what he went and did. This is what Rodgers said. He said, and I quote, "There's a sadness to it. He knows where I am in terms of the group. He knows where I am in terms of his focus and mentality. This was on a day off. The sad thing for me is that a 24-year-old footballer who's in his spare time can't let his hair down without someone trying to film him. I think this is a challenge now for people in general, but in particular, if you're a young footballer player, you see it. I got the full story from him. I don't have any doubt that he's a great professional." End of quote. So, yeah, it didn't appear to be a stranger. It was people within the taxi that filmed him. Like, we're not talking about the windy was down and Adam Idah was hanging out the taxi windy and being sick all over the place, and somebody outside it filmed it. At the end of the day, it was somebody within the taxi, but obviously this is, he plays for Celtic, he's this, he's that, we can film this and this will get clicks. And obviously, if this was some fucking randomer, right, you might have seen it on TikTok, you might have seen it on Twitter, but would it be getting blown up to this proportion? Would this video be getting made on Fog Football? Of course it wouldn't be, but you know what? I'm backing Rodgers here. I'm backing Brendan. I feel like footballers do try to get exposed by members of the public far too often, man. And there is some cases they get exposed correctly, and then there is cases like this that just is making a mountain out of a molehill. It's a guy that's been drunk and threw up. You know what I mean? Who's not done that? As I've literally just said. He did go on to speak about him, and he turned around and said, "Players have to be guarded. Sadly, it's the way of the world. People will maybe go to sign an autograph or do a video, then some clown comes in and says something else in the video. Then people wonder, why will players not do a video? Why won't they sign? Why do they drive past? Because you try to expose them. So why do they take the risk then? Well, they just drive past or just don't bother," which is a sad thing because kids want their things signed and whatever else. It's where we are. We just have to live with that. And that is true as well from Rodgers. It's like we've seen it. Obviously at Celtic, everything's kind of brilliant, winning trophies, not that shite. But we've seen at Rangers, like last year, Barisic signing stuff, and then people, fans were confronting them and shit like that. It does happen across the board, and you know what? I do think fans are entitled to be vocal and show their displeasure to the players, but at the same time, I can totally understand why Barisic last season didn't take that and kind of squared up to the guy. And I can totally understand why, if you are getting abused as a player, you don't want to sign autographs. You don't want to be near fans that are abusing you. You know what I mean? That is the reality of it. Some people don't have a thick skin, and some people do. And even the people with a thick skin, Borna Barisic looked like he was ready to go one-on-one with that guy. Here on this channel, we get pelters, banter, pelters. Then there's just damn right abuse, brother. But abuse doesn't bother me because you know what? It's no real, isn't it? No. You know what I mean? The same people abusing you on the internet wouldn't have the cojones to say it to you in real life at the end of the day. See the banter though? The banter's great. But Rodgers, he is right there. There is too much of this happening exposure. And you know what? Celtic had the week off. I can joke about the Europe stuff. I think last season, Rashford, he went to Belfast, didn't he, Rashford? I can't remember if United were, if they had a game the next day or something like that. But, obviously, if Adam Adair is on the piss up, right, ahead of a semi final like the St Johnstone game, and he's getting pished on Saturday, and St Johnstone are then playing. Celtic are playing St Johnstone on the Saturday. Then it's a different kettle of fish. But what do we expect people to do? Footballers aren't fucking robots. If a guy wants to go out and get pished, that's fair enough. He probably woke up on Thursday and went, "Oh fuck, man, I'll have a wee bit less next time." There's no much in this. Big Brendan Rodgers defending him, but I think Adam Adair pay the fine for being sick in the taxi and jump in it and probably leave Glasgow, because I've got a feeling that could be happening, because I don't think I think Celtic fans have completely fallen out with Adam Adair, and not due to this, but his goals, they've dried up, haven't they, guys? They've dried up, but maybe they can. Maybe he'll start firing again this Sunday. Who knows? But I'll be doing hee-haw, my team's no in it. So yeah, that's what I've got to look forward to. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That's my weekend. And a certain shite thing that might be happening in Las Vegas that I need to cover, because it pays the bills. So until next time, yeah, peace.